Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we always love focusing on literacy, supporting our youth. That's why we're honored to have with us Dan Williams. He's the founder, president, and CEO of The Playbook for Success Foundation. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm doing great today. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, this all starts with your passion to serve, but it also starts with you knowing firsthand the power of a playbook, playing in the NFL. So give us a little bit of your background and what led you to launch the nonprofit.
Just to start, I'm a 7-year NFL vet. But before then, I went to the University of Tennessee, played 5 years, started with Coach Former, ended with Coach Kiffin that 1 year, and I got drafted in the first round by the Arizona Cardinals in 2010. Later on, I signed a free agent contract with the Oakland Raiders. I played there for 2 years, and that's really where my philanthropy work really started in Oakland. When I started my first foundation, it was called Dan Williams Filling the Gap. We used to do some work with the Boys and Girls Club out there in East Oakland. But, I guess just the overall, it's just the fact that, but really my football background really got me started and, starting my love for, dealing with kids, for sports and everything. So that's pretty much it, man. I'm a former football player, just got my MBA at the University of Memphis and now trying to get back to my community.
Talk about, too, the ties, obviously, to Tennessee. I mean, you mentioned UT, you mentioned University of Memphis, but talk about the passion for serving youth in Tennessee.
Well, I just remember, growing up when we had people come back to me. That's kind of inspired me. One story that always, I guess this stands out to me is when Marcus Wembley, he went to East High School, he was at the University of Miami, graduate, and he also played in the NFL for a few years. And we went to the same high school. He came back and started, coaching us and pushing us. And I was like, man, we came from the same place, and you went to the NFL. So that, it kind of gave me inspiration and gave me hope. So I feel like, I was living in Arizona. And I was talking to my wife, and I was like, man, I need to give back. And if you hear some of the headlines of what's going on, in Memphis first, but then also when I found out about some of the statistics of where our readers are across the state, that's just really gave me inspiration, to come back home and give back.
Yeah, and that's to me, the powerful piece of this, come back home and give back. So let's go ahead and dive in. When you talk about the Playbook for Success Foundation, talk about the mission, and let's dive into the programs.
Our mission is to serve. We believe any kid from any background, has a chance. And that's the reason if they have a solid foundation. And that's what we want to do. We do mentorship, health and wellness, as well as literacy. We are inspired, just because, our love for the kids. And we know every kid, no matter which color, whatever background you come from, if they have, the solid foundation, they can succeed in anything they choose. And we really believe in the literacy part because literacy is, I feel like that's what gives you hope. If you can read and comprehend and you can understand, what you're doing and what you're getting into, that is what we really want to push because now you have the tools to, do anything you want. Even if you have to pivot to something else if something doesn't work out. Okay, this didn't really work out for me. Okay, let me try this because I can read. I thought about doing the workforce development, and that's really where it stemmed from because I hear that's really big, but to us, I really feel like the key part is in order for people to be ready for the workforce, they need to have to read and comprehend and understand what they're doing. It actually helped them as to work and actually help some business owners or people who have to hire people because it is easy when hey, can you read this for me? Understand your job description instead of me have to spend more time to really show you and make you make sure you comprehend what I'm have have you do. So I just think we really, diving into that part as well. The health and wellness is more so, being, be in better shape. That's something of my personal reflection. Myself. I have to go through that as being an athlete. You have to be in great shape to perform at the highest level, but as well as just overall health, because like a lot of times, that does get looked at, and finally the mentorship part is, we're being here, sometimes, kids from all backgrounds, inner city to suburban areas, they like to talk to people, share your experiences, what did you do when you was in this situation? What did you do when you was my age? And I just like to share, and if I could help a kid or anyone, rather, I just like to be an open book.
Talk about the age ranges and the grades that you're targeting, and then also to go ahead and start diving into in school, after school, so the model, because there's also summer programs as well.
Well, the age ranges we target are from second to 12th grade, and we we're right now we're in after school program. We get kids to sign up after school. School we're in now right now is Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering. We're dealing with their middle and high school students there. Model is we have we when they come in, we get kids. We try to we kind of make it into like a team setting. We make it more so of like kind of like a huddle a little bit, but everybody who works with us, I let them know they're in team because we're gonna need each other to encourage each other to get better, and that's the way we kind of attack it. We do. We use some Scholastic books products to where we can give books to help them push themselves to raise their Lexile scores, and but the biggest thing is kind of like just that mentality of we're a team, and everyone that we work with, we're cheering each other on, and we're going to push each other to also get better because we need to be the best we can be to succeed in life.
Talk about the feedback that you're getting, especially from the youth, the students. So what's that feedback like?
I mean, the kids have been excited. Whether it's our literacy program or this year, so far, they've been excited, as well as our health and wellness have been really well. We've done 2 summer camps so far since we've been in existence, and the kids, the counselors, parents, they've given us high praise because we try to do a holistic approach. Really. Getting to know a kid. What are your interests? Why? What drives you? And that's something that we take pride on, as well as we do give kids incentives to where when they make breakthroughs, or they make a time that they thought they never would make, a walking test or something, or hey, I never did 25 jump jacks before today, or we talk about bereavement, like I lost my uncle, but it has been on my heart, like no one that has ever asked me about what's really going on with me, and that's just what we do. We just try to talk. Don't we get as deep or as surface level as the kids want. Never make them uncomfortable, but we do ask questions that show them that we do care, and we are here for you. So I mean, so far it's been we've been enjoying it, and it's been great feedback so far.
Dive into some of the details that make the summer camp special. I mean, as you alluded to, having the conversations, the fitness, the holistic approach, obviously the literacy piece of this as well. But talk about some of those other special components for the summer camp.
Well, what we try to do, our health and wellness, we try to go over the 8 pillars of wellness, and we try to, from financial wellness to, of course, we do physical wellness, and I think the biggest thing that kind of been standing out to me was really emotional wellness, because when we kind of covering that, a lot of the kids, they kind of opened up, about a lot of things about how they're feeling, and even some guys, like I didn't know that it was okay to talk about this, but I was like, when you go through things, you do need to release some things because it probably was, bothering them, and then they never really knew that it was really on, the back of their mind all the time, and especially when we talk about loss. grief a little bit. They like, yeah, man, when I lost my granddad, like I'm still sad today. And we are telling them, hey, it's okay to grieve. Like it's okay to miss them because, they were part of your life and, you were close to them and, they'll never get back, but, really focus on the good memories that you had, with these people that you shared. So we just try to go through all the emotions, feelings, but then of course we get to do fun things. We do competitions. We do, relay races. We have Jenga contests, like whoever lasts the longest. We do, of course, we do stretches. Tell them the important stretches, as well as we bring in speakers. I think that's the biggest thing too, is because like you see a president of a bank come in and he's in tip top shape, man. He's like, hey, I have to work long hours. I have to make sure my health is intact. So I think that's some things too. Is like they never really correlate. I guess some jobs with being in good health, and that's what we try to do. Bring in speakers to talk about it, but then also make sure activities are something that they can relate to, and then really give them a good understanding of why we're doing this, with them.
Yeah, I love it. So talk about how the community can help because you have big plans for the future. So how can the community help support your efforts?
The community always help if, if you want to email us, let us know if they like to come speak to the kids. That's always the first thing because I believe, of course, people all ask for financial things, but I think spending time with kids is more valuable than money in my eyes because I think that means, the kids really see that you care. You give someone $1 and be like, all right, I'm on my way, but you sit there and really talk to a kid and share experiences that you've been through. That means a lot, and that has a lasting impact, in my opinion. As well as if we all always accept in-kind donations. We have a site. I mean, we have a list where if people reach out, I can send it out and hey, this is what we have going on. If you would like to be a part of this or you would like to help with that, that'll be great. Of course, in-time donations are welcome. I will say that. But big or small, I don't care if it's a penny or if it's $100. Like we would take it because it can help the cause. And I mean, a lot of people like to volunteer at times, but at the same time, you do have to pay people to come in. That's what I've been learning now as I make this transition into really doing my foundation more full time. So. And then, if you just check out our, social media, see what we're doing, see if there's something, people who might be interested in our program and it might be a good fit, please reach out. We try to help as many people and communities as we can and, as we can strategically and still be able to be sustainable and, make sure we're making an impact.
What are your plans for the future? So when you look at where you are today versus where you want to be tomorrow, what does that look like?
Within 5 years, I eventually would like to be across the state of Tennessee. Right now since we rebranded, it's been 2 years, and we're here in Memphis just trying to make sure our literacy program is working. We're working to get those KPIs, solidified before we branch off. Because I think here in Memphis, of course, we started here in West Tennessee, to where eventually we could be in Middle Tennessee, the Nashville area soon, and then eventually to East Tennessee, where I went to school at. So I think my board reflects that. I have people from all across Tennessee here, so I'm excited to try to make change here in my home state.
When you look at, just like you mentioned earlier, the coaches who poured into you and gave you opportunities to thrive both on and off the football field, talk about, because you alluded to it earlier, is the power of mentorship, the power of pouring into our youth and why that's so important. So touch on that a little bit deeper in terms of, people investing their time and effort into our youth and how that helped you and how that will help our future generations, our future leaders to be able to, do great things in our future.
My biggest thing was always, I feel like you can learn the most from, of course, everybody's an elder when you're older than the kids. So, but it's like, spending time sharing stories, sharing experiences. That's the biggest thing that was the difference for me was like, hey, when I did this what happened. Like, when I went out partying, I drank all day, I couldn't perform on the field. Like I took that to heart. Once I heard that, like, okay, this is what I want to do. This person was successful in something I'm trying to pursue, so this is what he did. Now, I still put my own, uh, you know, my own little thing I did on my own, like my own little ring to it. But at the same time, that was my foundation. It's like, that's okay. If I do this is the result that will happen. And it's just more so, it's like it did have a lasting impact, but there were some kids in there who when the people did come, they didn't listen. And, they're like, man, and they put their finger on, like, man, you know what, when Coach William came back and talked to us, man, I wish I would have listened more. Or Dan, when you told me, because we had some guys who, transferred, and I was like, man, you just got to kind of fight through it, man. This is the hard part, but, we keep working. It's just, you kind of have that end goal in mind. And I think, when people come and, mentor, they help kids create their end goal, what they want to see, because like these people have been and took these steps and they have took different paths. But it's like, okay, when I remember, when, Coach Farmer, first came, I always thought he was going to be there the whole time. And then end up my last year, Coach Kiffin came in, which was still a great experience for me. But, years later, I came back and, hey, Coach Farmer, I'm trying to start my foundation. Will you be, you might not have to be a board member because because you advise me still. And he's like, all right, Dan, I'll be an advisory board member for you. So that's something that, like there's always been my approach because, being a player, the thing about sports that I love and I try to, I'm trying to implement into education is the fact that, you always have a coach and when you have a good coach, there's much great success. And we're just trying to be the coach, for these kids, which are our players. That's the most important part, but it's just, I don't know. I get excited and I kind of ramble a little bit. I'm sorry, but it's just that you know, this is near and dear to my heart. And but when you do have people who share those experiences, once again, it's like it really changes a kid. Even if it's a kid of 15 and only one listens, that's the difference. Because kids share stories with me about when I came. I gave back some. I paid like 2016 or 2015. I paid for like some of the team fees at East High School, and they didn't have to pay. I took care of that, and the mom came. I went to read to her school at Senior Kill Elementary. She's like, "Dad, I remember that." She's like, "That was a big blessing because now her son, he went to play. He got a football scholarship, and now he's a teacher now, and I think he's still in Missouri. So it's like that gave him hope to where, hey, I could go to school for free by playing football. So that's why I believe like mentorship is a big need and a big help.
Yeah, I love it. We'll wrap up with contact information. So you mentioned it before, but go ahead and mention again. Where do we go to learn more and to get involved? So website, social media, where do we go?
www.theplaybook.org. That's our website. Or you could go to the Playbook for Success Foundation on Instagram, and you can see the work that we're doing. And of course, if anybody wants to email me, they can email me at dan@theplaybook.org, and we can go from there.
That makes it easy. Once again, the website is theplaybook.org, and it's the Playbook for Success Foundation. Well, Dan, thank you for all you do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeremy.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.